CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Evan Kenny.
Good evening. A rally was held near the law courts on the second day of a judicial review into the legality of an Alberta separation referendum. Members of Treaty 6, 7, and 8 First Nations are fighting against the separation movement. Meanwhile, in the courtroom, an interim order could stop the petition in its tracks. CTV's Connor Hogg reports.
We see decisions that are made without us, about us, on lands that were never given up.
Members of Treaty 6, 7, and 8 First Nations took to Churchill Square today, rallying against the judicial review of the Alberta separation petition they say disregards their treaty rights.
I think the showing here today is, like I said, a reminder that those agreements are sacred covenants to First Nations.
Sturgeon Lake Cree Nation has asked for an interim order to stop the petition. Today, representatives of the Blackfoot Confederacy spoke in court about the judicial review. The review debates whether First Nations concerns should be considered before or after a constitutional referendum question. It also covers the effect an independent Alberta would have on Indigenous treaty rights, such as complications like international borders. Speakers say a pattern of disrespect for Indigenous rights has been shown.
They're disregarding how we feel, and they're disregarding the treaty that we signed with the Crown.
What we're doing is right. We know it's right.
It makes me sad, my heart. It makes me sad to know that this is actually happening.
Jeffrey Rath from Stay Free Alberta is in the courtroom as a bystander. He says blocking the petition would flip the Constitution on its head.
They're asking the court to overrule a statute of the legislature that removed a section of legislation to expressly allow this petition to go forward. And they're suggesting that somehow or other the court has the jurisdiction to rewrite the legislation.
Rath says there is Indigenous support for Alberta independence, and the process is not violating treaty rights.
It's a very difficult situation. I wish the chiefs could simply internalize the opportunity that this presents them to actually sit down at a negotiating table with Canada and Alberta in the context of negotiating independence and resolving all of their outstanding treaty violations. I'm doing this because I believe that this is a way to address all of the ongoing violations of their rights by Ottawa.
The hearing continues tomorrow when Stay Free Alberta will present its argument. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
An Edmonton man is facing more than 24 charges, including human trafficking and bestiality. 47-year-old Jonathan Allard was arrested late last month. Alberta law enforcement response teams says the investigation into Allard began last June. A woman contacted police to say she came to Edmonton thinking she was going to rent a room. Investigators say she was then forced into the sex trade. Alleges Allard exploited and trafficked at least 10 women. It has only identified 5 of them.
We need survivors to come forward and talk to us. We need them to tell us their story so that we can take further steps to hold the traffickers accountable.
Investigators say there was also evidence of a dog being sexually and physically abused. Allard is in custody ahead of his next court appearance next week. A youth is facing a second-degree murder charge in the death of a man in West Edmonton. An autopsy completed yesterday found the 52-year-old was the victim of a homicide. Last Friday evening, police were called to a home near 82nd Ave and 175th Street after a report of an injured man. The man was pronounced dead a short time after being taken to hospital. Police say the underage male arrested at the scene was known to the victim. EPS will not say how the man died. The province is sticking to its neutrality messaging on the bill that aims to remove bias and ideology from Alberta classrooms. Education Minister Dimitrios Nicolaides says Bill 25 responds to concerns he's heard from parents. Educators argue personal bias is already covered through professional standards. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports.
Our schools should be places where we teach students how to think and not what to think.
Education Minister Dimitrios Nicolaides says his government's amendments to the Education Act in Bill 25 will ensure teachers keep any personal bias or ideology out of their lessons. He says it's become a distraction that's hurting test results. The bill requires teachers treat all viewpoints from students equally It's an issue he hears about from parents.
Students shouldn't be censored from expressing any kind of particular view or opinion.
That includes views based on misinformation, even if they're potentially harmful to others. Nicolaides isn't concerned about hate speech in the classroom because
those goalposts are already outlined by the Criminal Code of Canada.
There is a solution being presented in this bill to a problem that doesn't exist.
This University of Alberta education professor says teachers already follow professional standards to keep their views to themselves. Their training guides discussions about ideology, human rights, and other sensitive subjects.
Perhaps the student comes into the classroom thinking they know everything there is to know about a topic, and then through study, through investigation, they learn that there's a lot more to a topic than they thought.
Peck believes under Bill 25, teachers will choose to avoid touchy topics altogether, a chilling effect the minister doesn't see.
Well, the legislation doesn't limit topics that can be discussed in a classroom in any way, shape, or form. If a teacher wants to challenge a student's particular perspective on any subject, that they can do so in a manner that's fair and free from any personal bias.
It's just right-wing ideology posing as neutrality.
The opposition NDP also takes issue with new flag restrictions in the bill that say schools can only fly the Canada and Alberta flags unless given special permission.
Cut the crap. This is about banning the pride flag. And they're just not brave enough to say that.
Nicolaides says the restrictions could extend to classroom decorations or even stickers or pins on teachers' personal belongings. Those regulations will be ironed out if the bill is passed and enacted for the next school year. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
A man from Hinton who recently survived a heart attack has met the team who played a role in saving his life. It wasn't the first responders. It was the people who created a special pill holder that helped slow down his symptoms. CTV's Nerman Issa has the story.
Buying a vehicle at the Southside car dealership may have saved David McKay's life. Every February for Heart Month, Wheaton Honda hands out a special pill case to help prevent heart attacks. McKay picked up a few when he signed off on a new car.
This is why I'm happy to be here. Because like I say, that could potentially have saved my life.
8 months ago, McKay had a heart attack.
I just lied down to sleep and I felt the pain.
That's when he reached for the SM Heart Card. One capsule has 4 aspirins to prevent a blood clot. The other has 3 nitroglycerin pills to increase blood flow.
The smart card that you used was developed here in this laboratory.
Today, McKay got to meet some of the people behind this project. James Stewart created the card at the University of Alberta with the help of several doctors and researchers. Stewart says every minute counts when you're having a heart attack.
I always tell people, can first responders get to wherever you are within 10 minutes? If the answer is no, carry aspirin and carry nitroglycerin to save yourself.
The pill case is refillable and comes with a cell phone sleeve.
We wanted to make sure that it was portable and accessible when some of the other products aren't, and people aren't carrying them around and they're cumbersome to carry.
McKay went back to the dealership to thank them. Staff say he's not the only one.
We've had 5 customers walk into my office. I actually had a gentleman come in hugging a pillow after having a bypass operation, and his wife made him come here to thank us.
McKay says he initially grabbed a few cards for his coworkers. Instead, he was the one who needed it.
It could have went way worse, and this got the blood flow immediately moving, and I'm grateful for that.
The pill card is available online and in local pharmacies. Nerman Issa, CTV News, Edmonton.
Students showed off their final projects today from a sweet university course. These chocolates are more than just delicious morsels. They're examples of a complex chemical engineering feat. These University of Alberta students spent the semester studying the properties of chocolate. The goal of the course was to use material science and engineering to explain how the atoms and molecules of chocolate behave. For example, what might make the chocolate snap or have a glossy appearance.
Normally we're working with ceramics and glasses and polymers, carbon fiber, iron, aluminum, that kind of thing. So all of a sudden to go, oh, we can study chocolate. You can get course credit for studying chocolate. I think that piqued a lot of people's interest. And unlike every other class, we're allowed to eat in the lab.
23 students took the class this semester. The Calgary Zoo's newest resident got his first look at his new habitat. CTV's Kevin Fleming has more on how the 20-year-old polar bear from Quebec is adapting.
This is their last day in Calgary, and Catherine Powery and her daughter Alice got lucky seeing Yelly, the new polar bear.
Wonderfully exciting because Alice has never seen a polar bear before. When I was very little, there were polar bears at London Zoo, but they haven't had any for a very, very long time. So I'm really excited to see a polar bear for the first time.
Yelly is 20 years old and big, weighing in at 500 kilograms. For now, he and resident polar bear Siku are being kept separate until they've had time to get to know each other through a barrier.
They're very much aware of each other. They can smell each other and they hear each other, and sometimes they go up to slides and talk to each other on either side of it, but they have not seen, actually just yesterday they saw each other for the very first time, so we're doing slow introduction until we get to the point where they'll be out on habitat together.
Siku has been alone for close to 2 years after his partner, 7-year-old Baffin, died while the two were playing. Siku crushed Baffin's trachea, causing him to lose consciousness and drown.
After our investigations, there's no human error. There's nothing that we could have done differently, and so we haven't changed anything from that perspective.
Warner says both bears need companionship. Jordan Sinclair brought his son Jensen to see the new addition.
It's a great day when you can come out and see something new to the zoo, and brings a lot more people to the Calgary Zoo, and definitely brings more people in, bring more audience and more wildlife to the area.
Staff say the two polar bears have individual personalities, and while CQ likes to spend his time indoors, Yelly enjoys being out in the sunshine.
You'll get to see him a lot more, and my first impressions is he just seems like a great old guy. Yeah, he's lovely, he's really easygoing, and yeah, he's a wonderful, wonderful addition to our family here.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
The new event park downtown took another step forward today. The Oilers Entertainment Group has selected the design team. HNTB specializes in designing sports and entertainment venues. Architecture firm Dialogue has designed many Edmonton projects like the Walterdale Bridge and the Royal Alberta Museum. The new event park will be in the space downtown, now known as Fan Park. OEG says construction is expected to begin next year. The Edmonton Oilers have nominated goalie Connor Ingram for the Bill Masterton Trophy. It's awarded to the player who exemplifies perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication during the season. Ingram won it in 2023-24 with Arizona after overcoming mental health struggles and tying for the league lead in shutouts. No Oilers player has ever won the award. The trophy's 3 finalists will be named at a later date. Coming up next, a new poll shows how people are feeling about the provincial government. Also just ahead, Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister delivers a message to Albertans.
The world is watching Canada and recognizing that we are an energy superpower.
Good evening, folks. 6 degrees as a warming trend started today. Should get to about 8 degrees tomorrow and then double digits for Friday and Saturday. We'll talk about that and another cool down, another chance of snow in the forecast for Sunday. All in just a few minutes.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand was in Alberta today to speak with the Calgary Chamber of Commerce. As Canadians live with a trade war with the United States and conflict in the Middle East, she says it's a pivotal moment in our country's history. CTV's Tyler Barrow explains.
Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand spoke to the Chamber of Commerce on Wednesday, highlighting the big role Alberta Energy plays in international relations.
Just want to underscore the extent to which Alberta specifically comes up in so many of my bilateral engagements.
As the country boosts defense spending, she highlighted building Arctic sovereignty, which included spending on the Mackenzie Highway, which runs through northern Alberta and into the Northwest Territories. As Alberta pushes for a new pipeline west, the minister was pressed on the long timeline in building the Trans Mountain pipeline. Anand said technologically sound infrastructure takes time. She also addressed Canada's role in liquefied natural gas. A new Deloitte report says disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz, a key shipping route, are tightening global LNG supplies and driving price volatility.
The world is watching Canada and recognizing that we are an energy superpower.
The Chamber's CEO says the foreign minister provides confidence and that the world is aware of Alberta energy potential.
I found it was an optimistic tone in terms of what it means for resource development and what it means for our energy resources.
But right now, the focus is overseas with ongoing peace talks between Iran and President Trump. According to one economist, people should brace for higher prices on everyday items.
Taking an Uber, for example, but definitely food prices are sort of the next big ticket item after gasoline that we'll start to see those prices creep up.
The future of the strait is uncertain, which means it will be a while before energy prices drop, offsetting transportation costs.
There's still going to be that concern that things could flare up again, so the risk premium will stay around.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
Former PC minister and current CEO of the Canada West Foundation says a 2-week ceasefire in Iran will do little to provide economic stability around the world. Gary Marr says uncertainty in the Middle East is one reason Alberta and Western Canada need to increase access to global markets. He says long-term, Alberta can provide an alternative for the oil, fertilizer, and food that currently moves through the Strait of Hormuz.
Being a democratic, law-abiding nation, we're the best option for many places in the world, and that will continue 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the road. And so it's a very good idea that we take advantage of the opportunity that the world markets demand.
Marr says the situation further highlights the need for a West Coast pipeline. New public opinion data from the Angus Reid Institute shows that the Alberta government is performing better than other provinces, but half of respondents say it is on the wrong path. The UCP government is outperforming most provincial governments on the top issues of the day, but 67% say Danielle Smith's government is doing a poor job on healthcare, and 66% say it's doing a poor job on the cost of living.
So healthcare is the top issue by far. 62% of Albertans say that's the top issue. Among Albertans, only 29% believe that Danielle Smith and the UCP government is doing a good job on healthcare. So there is a lot of criticism of how the UCP have handled that file.
The survey also found 46% of Albertans have a favorable view of Smith compared to 33% for NDP leader Naheed Nenshi, but they both have high unfavorable ratings. 53% disapproved of Nenshi and 52% disapprove of Smith. Still ahead, why one woman walked 3,000 kilometers across Europe in heels.
You learn so much about sexual violence, but you feel like you can't really do anything about it.
Thursday on Your Morning, all AI is not created equal. We'll talk bots and agents. They can help with major projects, but should we let them for our brain's sake? We'll see you at 6.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by Senior Home Care by Angels, Canada's choice in home care.
Welcome back. -2 this morning, 6 degrees for a high this afternoon. So still a couple of degrees cooler than average. Should be back to about 8 or 9 for a high tomorrow. You get partly cloudy skies here in the Edmonton area tomorrow. Maybe a couple scattered showers off to the northwest of the city. We're eyeballing Saturday across the north and Sunday potentially in the Edmonton area for the next big wave of precipitation. There's your warmer air that's going to get drawn in from the south on Friday. So lots of sunshine Friday, temperatures into the low to mid-teens. Saturday, I think we're still on the warm side Saturday. I've got 14 in the forecast. Maybe we only get to 11 or 12. Depends on how thick this cloud cover is. We're still on the warm side of things, though, Saturday. Across the north, a little different story. You've got some snow. Probably some heavier snow from Peace River off through into the Fort McMurray areas. Heavy snow probably stays north of Fort McMurray through the first half of the day Saturday and then starts to drop south. On the backside of this system, there's some cooler air that'll get drawn in for Sunday. And as that cooler air comes in, may squeeze out some snow in and around the Edmonton area. There's still fairly high degree of uncertainty with where exactly the precipitation is going to be on Sunday and whether or not we just end up with some showers or some wet flurries on Sunday or some heavy snow yet to be determined. So stay tuned. -3 Fort McMurray, -9 in Grand Prairie, -4 in Red Deer. Those are your morning lows. Will be around -2 in the city. Handful of degrees above zero with mostly cloudy skies across the northeast. 9 in Grand Prairie. Nice little rebound. -9 in the morning, +9 in the afternoon. 10 for Jasper, 8 in Red Deer, and about 4 or 5 in Lloydminster. 8 degrees, partly cloudy, light wind tomorrow. Mainly sunny to partly cloudy on Friday. High of 14. Again, as I said, I'm going 14. That may be a little optimistic. Chance of a rain-snow mix Saturday evening. Rain or potentially some wet snow. And a bigger cool down as temperatures drop about 10 degrees there for Sunday. Another warm up into Monday, Tuesday, and then another cool down with another chance of snow middle of next week. That is your forecast.
You can see and hear some of the newest exotic cars at the Edmonton Auto Experience this weekend.
This is the first Aston Martin Valhalla being delivered in Alberta, and it is for an Edmonton client, so we are unveiling here at the Edmonton Car Show. This car is priced between 1.5 and 2 million Canadian dollars.
Aside from this Aston Martin, you can also check out this Maserati, the first time it's ever been revealed in Canada. You can test drive different cars and trucks, see how to personalize your own ride, or learn more about zero-emission vehicles. 110 vehicles will also be up for auction. The show's manager says she'd be surprised if you didn't find something you like.
Whether you're looking for a family vehicle, a summer kind of vehicle, maybe you're overlanding or camping, you want to modify something, you're looking for hyper luxury or exotic, or those classics even, we try to have something for everyone.
The Edmonton Auto Experience begins tomorrow at the Edmonton Expo Center. The final day is Sunday. A Canadian woman is back home after walking 3,000 kilometers across Europe. As CTV's Kelly Gregg explains why her mode of transportation included heels.
When we met Dora Alcover, it was literally a walk in the park.
How much did your feet hurt at the end of the... Not that much, and that's what I can't believe it when I say it, but since I was expecting to suffer so much, I refuse to say that it even hurt.
But her 3,000-kilometer walk, documented on Instagram, was anything but.
Day 1, walking across Europe in heels.
Almost every day, she would update her followers on her journey to fight human trafficking.
We watch so much news about Epstein, about Diddy and things like that, and I think as a woman, you learn so much about sexual violence, but you feel like you can't really do anything about it.
A walk with a serious purpose that she approached with a smile.
I think when we say things in a cheerful way, a lot more people are willing to listen.
Alcover walked from Barcelona to the headquarters of Reaching Out for Romania. An organization that works to prevent human trafficking. According to the U.S. Embassy in Romania, in 2024, there were 600 cases of it in the country. Over a third involved girls.
Heels was a way to embrace femininity, to represent women, to kind of take back power on the sexualization of women.
And no matter what the footwear, it's no easy trip.
Day 65, walking across Europe. In heels, these are the 3 pairs of heels that I'm currently dealing with. First of all, trucks are going pretty fast. It's so slippery and wet.
A journey spanning 9 months and 9 countries.
Spain, France, Monaco, Italy, Slovenia, Croatia, Hungary, Serbia, Romania.
Along the way, she raised 15,000 euros for the NGO, equal to about 25,000 Canadian dollars. Alcover funded her own journey and now might need to spend a little more on a new pair of shoes.
Mostly platforms, so at least, during the walk, I think honestly stilettos would have been a bit next level for 3,000 kilometers.
She hopes to do it all over again in Canada, building on her newfound following in style.
Now I prefer almost to walk with the heels than without. That makes one of us.
Kelly Gregg, CTV News.
That is all the time we have. Thank you for tuning in and have a good rest of your night.